In this installment, we're going to be going over the Monday Night Football Showdown slate on Draftkings between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Monday Night Football Showdown slate on DraftKings between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. But before I deep dive into this very, very intriguing slate, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon, all right? Right now, we are at the homepage of the YouTube, currently at 1.5 thousand subscribers. So continue to show support, show love. If you're currently not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. And guys, if you're already a subscriber, why not just leave a comment and a like on each and every video, all right? So thank you, guys. Let's get into the injury report. We're going to kick things off with the injury report, starting off with the Seattle Seahawks here. We have a number of guys on both sides of the football that are trending towards being out, but we do not have a final word yet. All right, so right now, Jamal Adams, 3 DNPs in a row. He has a Q tag. Nick Bellore on the defense, 3 DNPs. He has a Q tag. Dwayne Eskridge, who's more of a special teamer, he has 3 DNPs. And Devin Witherspoon, this could be a big hit. So Devin Witherspoon has been playing phenomenal this year as the rookie. Been creating a lot of turnovers, a very physical corner. He has 3 DNPs in a row as well, as a big Q tag for the Seattle Seahawks. So there could be missing 2 key parts in that secondary with Jamal Adams and Devin Witherspoon that could bode well for the wide receivers of the Eagles. Now, for the Eagles side, already they have put out 3 guys: Zach Cunningham on the defense, Cam Jurgens on the offensive line, and Darius Slay. So this is huge. All right, Bradbury is now going to be the #1 cornerback. He struggles and he's very, very slow. And now Darius Slay is out with a knee injury. This is a plus for DK Metcalf and the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver core. So I'm loving what I'm seeing on both sides of the ball. This could be a lot of points here in this game. Let's get into the captains. For the captains, we're going to start off at the top here, looking at Jalen Hurts. And there's a little bit of news here with Jalen Hurts. All right, he wasn't fully in that injury report, but if you read the blurb at the bottom here, he did come down, wasn't able to practice Saturday after falling ill, but the Eagles declined to give him a designation tag. So as of right now, he is going to play, but he does have an illness for Jalen Hurts. So you might get a less than 100% Jalen Hurts in this prime matchup going up against the Seattle Seahawks here. So just want to let you guys know about that one. But he's still going to be one of the key components here at captain that we have to go towards. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks, you're going to scroll down and you see the Seattle Seahawks, 20th overall, 11th in the red zone. They're allowing 275 yards passing and 2 TDs to opposing QBs. Okay, so that's going to be good for Jalen Hurts. All right, the next guy we can consider at that captain spot will be Geno Smith. The person on this slate that has the best matchup besides DK Metcalf is going to be his quarterback in Geno Smith. This Eagles defense has been getting torn apart the past few weeks. That's why they rank 32nd in total overall rank and in red zone. Very similar stats here, giving up 275 yards passing and about 2.5 TDs per game. So that is going to bode well for which could be a very high scoring environment. If we're just looking at numbers right now and the way things are setting up, I think lineup builds with both quarterbacks can be very viable in this lineup build that we got going on for Monday. So definitely look out and try to build with 2 QBs. All right. The next guy we're going to be talking about will be A.J. Brown here. A.J. Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles obviously is going to be the number one target getter for the Eagles and the number one target for Jalen Hurts. He's been phenomenal the last past 2 weeks with 13 targets in each game. And he's done this without getting in the end zone. So I would say he's pretty due. He's having a phenomenal year, 90 receptions, almost 1,300 yards for A.J. Brown. We can go back to the well here with him, and the injury to Devin Witherspoon is going to help with the downgrade at secondary, trying to contain A.J. Brown and trying to contain Devonta Smith, all right? The next captain we're going to be looking at is DK Metcalf. I told you during the injury report, Darius Slay being out is absolutely monster. We saw what DK Metcalf did against that Dallas defense. In Dallas, 3 touchdowns, 134 yards on 6 catches. He had 40 fantasy points in that game. I can see something very similar in this type of game environment. He's still getting you there each and every week. He has been pretty consistent trying to get you double-digit fantasy points every single week. Even against the 49ers, he got you a touchdown in that game. So DK Metcalf has been pretty reliable this year, and I will go back to the well, going up against the Eagles' poor secondary and no Darius Slay. So DK Metcalf is going to be on our list up there. All right. The next player we're going to be looking at will be DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift has a very good matchup going up against this team here in the Seattle Seahawks. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs, this Seattle Seahawks team has been struggling the past 5 weeks. They're 28th overall and 28th in the red zone, giving up 105 yards rushing and 4.9 yards a carry, plus a touchdown, okay? Plus 50 yards receiving. So across the board, DeAndre Swift is looking like a very good play in our lineup builds. He has been poor the last 3 weeks. I say he is super due as well. Hasn't had a touchdown since week 11. So I'm going with the explosive back here in DeAndre Swift to have an opportunity to shine against this secondary here in the Seattle Seahawks, especially if they're going to be out of Jamal Adams as well and Devin Witherspoon. So love DeAndre Swift, all right? And then last but not least, our final captain play will be Tyler Lockett, okay? Tyler Lockett here has been just a 1A to 1B here with DK Metcalf. If it's not Metcalf, it's Lockett. These are the two main target getters for the Seattle Seahawks at home in this secondary, which you definitely want to take advantage of. I want to go back to the well here with Tyler Lockett, who's been playing pretty solid this year. Not like last year where he really took advantage of the touchdowns, but in this game environment, I can see him going for about 7 to 8 catches, around 80 to 100 yards, and probably a touchdown. He hasn't had a touchdown since week 10, so I like Tyler Lockett in our lineup builds as well. Let's go on to the flex plays. Now on to the flex plays here. We're going to start off with just talking about kickers and defenses really quick. Defenses in this slate, I'm going to stay away from, okay? Giving you my personal opinion. I already told you with all the injuries here that we have on both sides of the ball. I'm going to stay away from both defenses. And plus, we have 2 high-octane offenses as well with a plethora of weapons on both sides. So I'm going to stay away from both defenses. You can consider the kickers. You got Jake Elliott and Jake Myers. They're both averaging around 10 points a game. So consider both of those kickers in your lineup builds, all right? Now let's get into some of the other secondary options on both sides of the football. The first one we got here will be Dallas Goedert. He's back and healthy. In his first game back against Dallas, had 4 catches, 30 yards. He should be getting back in the mix. They utilize him frequently in this offense as well. And he's basically going to be sharing targets between him and Devonta Smith, all right? A.J. Brown's the number 1. Dallas Goedert and Smith are the 2A and 2B options as pass catchers for the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. So I don't mind considering him in our lineup builds. As we go down the list here, JSN is going to be our sleeper selection here. All right, he's been improving week after week, getting stronger as we go along towards this back end of the season. And in the past 2 weeks, he has 18 targets and 11 catches here, all right? No touchdowns, but we're seeing productivity. That's very key from JSN, who was pretty much a no-show at the beginning of the season, and now they're running more 3 wide receiver sets, and he's getting acclimated with Geno Smith. So I'm loving JSN here to perform well in this prime game here against the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. So I love him in this lineup build. As we continue to go down, we have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet as the running backs options for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be moved down to the flex play because the Eagles are a very strong run defense, all right? At the beginning of the season, Ken Walker was phenomenal with multiple games of over double-digit fantasy points. And since he's come back from his injury, he has struggled. And there has been a little bit more usage to Zach Charbonnet. So there's a little bit more of a split between these two guys. We saw Ken Walker get more receptions last week because they were down big to the San Francisco 49ers. So you can consider him, or you can consider Zach Charbonnet, who's been getting more and more work, all right? Obviously, he was the number 1 running back when Ken Walker was out, and still was getting a solid allotment of touches here against the 49ers with Kenneth Walker back in the mix. He had 9 rushes for 44 yards. Change of pace back here. He can do dual threat things, rush and receive. So he's a very dangerous running back that you can use as a punt play in your lineup builds, all right? If we continue to go down even cheaper, some of the guys we're going to be looking at, Noah Fant is going to be the tight end you want to look at for Seattle. They use 3 tight ends, but my favorite one out of the 3 will be Noah Fant. All right, he doesn't have a touchdown this year, but will see a handful of targets each and every game. He's the most athletic out of the 3 tight ends as well, so he has an opportunity to create after the catch. All right, don't forget about Kenny Gainwell as well. He's going to be worked in as the secondary option for the running backs here for the Philadelphia Eagles. I already told you it's a very good matchup for Swift. We can also see a positive game for Kenneth Walker. It could be a goal-to-goal situation where he comes in to spell Swift and he can get a reception or a rush in the red zone to get in the end zone. That could be very key in our lineup builds. You can consider him. And then one of our last punt plays, if you go all the way down at the bottom, that's going to be Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo this year does have 3 touchdowns. It wouldn't surprise me if he came down with 1 in the end zone in this game. He does have some bright spots earlier in the season. 10.6 against Cleveland, 16.1 against Arizona, and 7.5 against Carolina. So Jake Bobo is the 4th wide receiver that they do use in this offense for Seattle, and you can consider him as a bottom tier flex play, all right? So that's the cheapest we would go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Wait. Before I go, these are the locks. These are the locks that you want in each and every one of your lineups, okay? I did mention that I do like both quarterbacks, so that you can put that on the board, but the secondary players, the running backs, the wide receivers that I want in each and every lineup will be DeAndre Swift, will be DK Metcalf, and I'm going to go with Geno Smith, all right? I want to have these 3 guys in each and every one of my lineups. Swift, because he has the number one matchup here against opposing running backs, 28th and 28th overall. He looks like a prime spot to go off, especially if you have an illness with your quarterback. You want to go to the running game. That's why I like DeAndre Swift. And then Geno Smith, this poor defense in Philadelphia with no number 1 cornerback. I want the combination of DK Metcalf and Geno Smith. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Peace out.